Hey y'all, Lily here. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all how I go about sublimating my t-shirts. Should you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop a comment down below and I will do my best to assist you. With that being said, let's get started. Alrighty, so here I'm using my Epson 2720 to print out my design. I'm using A-Sub paper and I'm using Cosmos ink sublimation ink. I will leave everything that I use in the description box below in case you'd like to check those out. So here I am just printing my design. Sublimation does take a few minutes to print, so just be very patient with that process. If you do not have a sublimation printer, that's totally fine. I do sell sublimation transfers on my website, so if you want to go check that out, chimpiesdesigns.com. I will also leave that link down below for y'all. Alright, and this is what it looks like once it's all done printing. It's very vibrant, very colorful. I love using A-Sub paper along with my Cosmos ink. It never fails to disappoint me at all. And now it's time to turn on my heat press. I have to let this heat up to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm using my heat press from Heat Press Nation. I will also leave that link in the description box below. I've had this one for I believe over 3 years and it's never given me any issues, any problems at all. I do have a video linked to this actual heat press on me reviewing it, so I will go ahead and leave that link down below if you would like to check that out. Alright, so here is what the back of the A-Sub paper looks like. I'm going to be using the A-Sub paper along with a George brand, I believe 65% polyester t-shirt. I'm not too sure on that, but I believe it's 65% polyester. I love using this brand of t-shirts because the sublimation designs always comes out very vibrant. Alright, so here is the butcher paper that I will be using. I'm going to go ahead and cut off a piece of this. I'm going to cut off 2 pieces because I have to use one for the inside of my t-shirt, so that way there is no ink that is transferred to the back of the t-shirt, and then one for the top of my t-shirt to protect my heat press. So here I'm going to go ahead and place my piece of butcher paper in between my t-shirt just to avoid any potential transferring of ink to the back of the t-shirt. And then I'm going to go ahead and press my t-shirt for a few seconds just to remove any moisture that may be in the t-shirt. And I always like to make sure that I lint roll my t-shirts. I've missed this step a few times and I always notice little pieces of blue marks of lint left behind. So I always make sure that I roll my t-shirts always. And for my sublimation transfer design, I always like to remove the edges if possible, if the design allows me to it. That way it doesn't create any harsh pressing lines during the pressing process. So if your design lets you remove and tear off the edges, then I would recommend going ahead and doing so. And this step does add an extra minute or so, but it definitely is worth it when there's no harsh lines being pressed onto the t-shirt. Alright, and what I do sometimes is I fold my design in half and kind of just pinch along the edges. That way if I fold my t-shirt in half, I could just align the two and it just makes it makes for a much quicker, simple pressing process. And then if you'd like, you can always go with the ruler and just double check to make sure everything is nice and centered and even. And then I like to go ahead and grab a bunch of pieces of heat transfer tape and tape down my design. That way during the pressing process it doesn't move or go anywhere or create any kind of ghosting marks whatsoever. Alright, and now I just have to get my other piece of butcher paper and put that on top of my design so that way I can press the t-shirt. I know some people stop at this point and then just press the t-shirt. I always use a Teflon sheet, but I will be making a video of just pressing the t-shirt without the Teflon sheet to see if that makes any difference whatsoever. So don't forget to ring that notification bell and subscribe to stay tuned for that. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and press it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for roughly about 60 seconds. And after the 60 seconds are done, I am all done. Very simple. I love sublimation because of how simple it is. And so if we can see here, this is why I always put a piece of butcher paper, because the ink does transfer, and then I place a piece of Teflon sheet on top of that just so that way it doesn't adhere to my heat press and cause any damages to future t-shirts. Alrighty, and now it's just time to peel off the design, the piece of paper. So I'm going to peel that off. It is kind of hot, so just be careful with this and look at that, nice and vibrant. Alrighty y'all, what do you think? If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. If you need help with anything, any video ideas you would like for me to make, definitely let me know. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I do have TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I would greatly appreciate the support over there. Once again, thank you so much for watching and have a good one.